anyways, we're gonna do a reading. I'm gonna do a reading. You do what you do. I'm not your mom. We do have some music playing in the background, so make sure that you're aware and aligned with everything that's going on before we start. Or don't. I'm not your mom. I feel like I want to use a couple decks today, so we'll start with this, see how it goes. Before I started, I felt like I put oil in my hair, and my hair feels, it doesn't look, but it feels oily. I don't know if oily hair or just hygiene in general has any significance. I'm not saying hygiene as in a negative thing. I'm saying hygiene as in, like, maybe you need to put oil in your hair, maybe your hair is dry, or maybe it's too oily, whatever, take it as it resonates. But oil in the hair is significant. Like watering the crown is what I'm getting. Okay, so 3s are significant, 1 and 3. We've got 1, 13, 3, 4, which is 1 and 3, and then 6, which is 3 and 3. Okay, so there's an ending that happened, clarified by the 2 of Wands energy here. There's an ending that happened. Number significance 2, 3, and 7. 1, 2, 3, and 7. Numbers that we have on the board are 1, 13, 3, 4, 6, 7, 7, 1, and 2. 1 and 3, 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 is 2 2s, or 3 and 1. 3, 6 is 3 2 times, or 4 plus 2. 7 is just 7. It's showing up as mirrored, so the mirrored 7. And then 1s. There is a connection. This is in regards to a connection, a disharmony. We're talking about a breakup here. We're talking about an ending. With the Ace of Pentacles showing up reversed, followed by the Death card, there is something that you thought somebody would offer you something. You know, there's this idea of like hands coming out of the clouds. That's the big imagery here. I just want to show you because it's huge. This imagery of hands coming out of the clouds, hands coming out of the clouds, hands coming out of the clouds, hands coming out of the clouds. There's this energy of unconditional, like there's no grounded reason why these hands would be coming out, but you're stuck on the fact that they do. Like, you're not questioning where these hands are coming up from. You're just understanding, you're just taking it in as like, oh well, they're gonna be here. It's this idea of I'm hearing the words ignorant certainty, where you're like, I know it's going to show up, so I don't really have to question it. So there's this element, lack of planning, lost opportunity, mischance, end of a cycle, transition. And then talking about a collaboration or teamwork, building something together. So there's something where you were happily receiving things, but you were not pouring back into them. You might have felt apathetic towards the situation, like there's no need for me to do it, because if I'm receiving it, then clearly I'm offering enough to be able to receive it. You see, we've got earth and water energy a lot here. Lots of Cancer, Aquarius, Scorpio, Capricorn, Taurus, water, Cancer, yeah, Aquarius, water, where's this? Water, Cancer, yeah. There's this element of, I'm hearing, or I'm seeing the image of like water, like a river or stream smoothing out the edges of a rock, where you might be, and take it as it resonates, either you are the water energy where you are beating against something, and in turn you are polishing it in a sense. So it's not something that you're like, like it's not something that like you're doing bad. It was destined to be this way. Like there had to be this ending. But there's this element of like you technically benefiting them, but also altering the essence of what this was, in the way of like how it embodies itself, in a way that wasn't in their control. Like the rock can't control the water. I'm hearing the quote from Mulan: no matter how hard the wind blows, the mountain cannot bow to it. This idea of like, I had to, like, there's no way I couldn't do this. And then this element that the rock, it cannot change the water. It cannot change the direction of the water. It cannot change how quickly or gently the water flows. It just exists within it. But there is this idea of like apathy, of you being so, I don't want to say unaware, but ignorant, which yes, technically is the same thing, but in a way where you didn't want to see how you affected people, or you didn't want to see how you affected others. There's this energy of like, this is the card, so you can see the embodiment of like, I don't really care. Like, I see what you're offering me and I'll take it. I'll keep taking it. Like, he's stacking these cups, right? So he's like, I'll take 1 cup, I'll take 2 cups, I'll take 3 cups. If you give me a 4th cup, I'll take the 4th cup. But my hands are crossed. I'm not doing nothing for you. Then there's this energy of the 6 of Pentacles, which is giving, generosity, charity, where you kind of, I feel like this is a very egotistical thing where you are like, you should be so lucky to be able to have my time. I do feel like it's a wounded energy where it's a wounded feminine energy within you, where you're waiting for the last moment. And then in the same way, what I'm seeing is like the embodiment, because I'm a visual person, the embodiment through Squid Games. In the very first season, there's a character, that a woman who embodies the wounded feminine energy very, very well. And she's constantly clinging to this man who's got like a snake tattoo on his face. I don't know their names or their numbers or anything like that, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And this woman, she's constantly throwing her body at this man because she knows that that's what he wants. Like, you want my body. You're lucky to be able to fuck me, like, excuse my French, but you're lucky to be able to have me, like, I know you want this, like, I can make you feel good. This idea of like, you need me, kind of, which is a wounded feminine energy. Tapping into the Chariot and the 7 of Swords, self-deceit, direction, control, determination. You wanted things to go the way that you wanted them to go, but you, again, deception, self-deceit, like, you were only lying to yourself when you said that doing these things fulfilled you. And that comes with the Ace of Cups, clarified with the Ace of Cups and the 2 of Cups reversed right after that, is that you were giving what you thought they wanted, in a sense that, okay, I'm receiving this idea of like, just because I can accept the bare minimum doesn't mean I deserve it. This idea of like, you were like, I'll give you just, it's like breadcrumbing. I'll give you just enough because I know if I keep you happy enough, you'll still offer me that fulfillment, but I won't fulfill you. Disharmony, distrust, imbalance, broken communication. There is also like my lower back, my tailbone is in pain. So root and sacral chakra, this idea of feeling safe in the relationship. We got the 7 of Cups here again, 777. Overwhelmed by choices, lack of purpose, fantasy, illusion. There's this idea of you not wanting them to choose somebody else, or you not wanting them to not choose you. There's this idea of insecurity of being chosen, possibly stemming from abandonment issues, or it could also align with mother and father issues of having to prove your worth, and then also feeling apathetic to the intent of having to prove your worth, because you're like, well, I shouldn't have to do this, which you don't, but that's what you're going through. Two of Swords, again, twos, avoidance, deadlock. Let's see. Avoidance, easily influenced, bitchy, cold-hearted, cruel. Yeah, there's this idea of like, I'm gonna live my life for me because it's my life. Like, who the fuck are you to tell me what I am or am not supposed to be doing? Like, this is my life. But you were ignorant. You were avoiding the accountability, I think is what's coming. Yeah. Again, with the twos, 2, 2, 1, 2, 12. We've got the Hangman, which is 12. We've got the Two of Pentacles, which is 2. There's a lot of 1, 2, and 3, again, with the threes. I don't know if numerology is significant for you. Delays, resistance, stalling, indecision, fear of sacrifice, battling decisions, time management, multiple priorities. There's this idea that you were like, well, I have other things to do, so like, why would I try to make it harder for myself when I could just put in just enough to be able to still receive? It's kind of like you were complacent. Complacency is the word I'm looking for, where you were like, okay, but like I'm good, like it's fine, but it's not fine, because you were looking to build longevity without planting the seeds of longevity, and then wondering why all your investments weren't paying off the way that you wanted to. Again, there's this idea of, where was this coming in? Oh goodness, okay, I don't know what it was. Again, 3, my goodness. There's this idea of like false investments. 3 of Cups, again with the threes. Like this is huge. 1, 2, 3, 7 energy. This is huge. 1 is the seed, 2 is the agreement, 3 is the alignment, 7 is the spiritual alignment, where we talk about up to 5 is the lower chakras within self, and 6 and 10, or 6 to 10, really 6 to 9, but whatever. 6 to 10 is alignment with the higher self, with the spirit, with the higher chakras. So talking about 1 is the seed, 2 is the alignment, where you say, okay, like, I agree, it's a commitment, right? 2 is a commitment. 3 is the alignment, where mind, body, and spirit, the Trinity, the holy, the Triskelion, the Mother, Father, Son, the 369, Nikola Tesla, all these different things, the alignment between mind, body, and spirit, all these different elements. 4 is protection. 5 is interchange, 6 is manifested change, 7 is secured abundance through source, 8 is manifested abundance as intangible abundance, 9 is completion of a cycle, and then 10 is the end and beginning of a cycle. So 10 is the embodiment of the death card, where it's they say 13, but I think it's 10. The idea of an end and a new beginning as like a transformation. Anywho, I don't know if numerology is important to you, but that must have been, because I don't know why I just went through all my numbers. Yeah, there's an idea of independence, alone time, being around the wrong people. You're only as good as the company you keep. Let's see. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands reversed, scattered energy. It's like you were working hard but not smart. You were putting a lot of energy into a lot of things while you should have been, and I say you should have been because now you can take that time to do it correctly. I think that this was important for you to experience this, to have the drive that you need. I think this loss that you experienced offered you the motivation to drive yourself to do something differently. But there's this idea of frustration, delays, anger, scattered energy, of being able to say like, I know, I, you know, but not knowing where to put it, how to do it, you know, how do I begin? I think that you should be recognizing productivity, routine, and efficiency. So how do I want to go about this? What do I want to, what commitments do I want to make? What do I want to do consistently? If you're doing things that are consistently delaying you or denying you the life that you want to live, obviously you would want to not do that. So productivity in terms of like, how productive is this for my life, in terms of routine and efficiency. Then we have 6 again. 6 is 3, 6 is 2, 6 is 4. Resistance to change, unfinished business, emotional baggage. Don't get caught up in the idea of walking away because you feel left out in the cold. Recovery, spiritual poverty, charity. There's a lot of charity. It feels like you're looking for someone to pour into you, like something external of you. I said this in my last reading as well, where it's like something external of you is going to save you, and that's not the case. You know, like that's not how it's going to work. Let's wrap this up. I kid you not, 9, 3, 6. Yeah, so you're restless and unfocused, impulsive, with no direction. And you have to recognize where your materialism and inner joy comes from. It feels like you're looking for instant gratification, where you should, because it's the 9 of Cups coming out reverse, so that's longevity, right? 1 and 4, 5. There's 5 is also change, right? We had another 5 with the 5 of Pentacles here. Alcoholism, addiction, self-healing, realignment. If addiction is something that is one of the routines that you have to address, I want you to ask the intent. Are you doing this to numb yourself? Or are you doing this to elevate yourself? There's different ways to use these things, but don't let it be like a downer for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, 1, 5, 6, 15, the devil. This is the idea of destructive behavior, materialism, again, codependency, toxicity, attachment, temptation, restriction, really bondage in a way. So allow that yourself to be freed. That's what's holding you back. Allow yourself to be freed of that, and have a curiosity. Be curious without judgment. Look for new ways to communicate. Honor your restlessness by asking, why are you being restless? Where are you putting your mental energy? Are you scrolling on TikTok? Are you watching, memes or movies all day, or whatever it is? Like, ask yourself what is going on that is causing you to be in a lack of alignment with what you're doing. And then you got the Ace of Wands, which is again, new ideas. Page of Swords, new ideas. Ace of Wands, new projects. This idea, you got the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands. You have all of the aces here. So you are manifesting a new beginning for yourself, but you have to actualize it. And I don't want to say but, you are actualizing it. And I want to honor that. But it is about willpower, which is the Ace of Wands is about like a passion. So I feel like while you were receiving these hands out of the clouds, now you're going to be the one that's giving it. You're going to be like, hey, like, I want to offer you something. So let's see. Let's finalize with one more card. Thank you. You got the 7 again, so 4 7s. Long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable sustainable results and investments. I really want you to take the time to invest in yourself and really, honor your journey, because it's not about denying what you're doing. It's about really understanding that, like, I'm living my life for myself, and I want something. Again, longevity is huge here. You want something to last, sustainable results, something that will, reap benefits. This is an image of gardening here. Earth, Taurus. I'm not sure if gardening is relevant. If you want to, go to your local community center and plant a like a community garden and plant something and try to nurture that. Try to, get into an element of earth. Get your hands, I don't know if you're going to be like grounding or anything like that, but really get your hands into the process of stable growth. I think that gardening, and I'm not like gardening like smoking, but like gardening is a great way to be able to practice that, because you allow yourself, get yourself a plant, right? Allow yourself to see the consistent watering, not overwatering, not underwatering, the consistency of what it takes to nurture something. I feel like that's going to be healing to you, because you see that nurturing something properly in a way that benefits it and maybe doesn't even benefit you. Like a plant would be a great way to start, because it doesn't really offer you much other than like maybe a beauty, something to look at. But it does offer you something where you are able to have some hard work, some diligence, some consistency to it. And you can practice that, because the more that you strengthen your ability to be able to do this, the more that you can offer that to yourself then. And then possibly with the Two of Cups being your goal to water into you, I water into me. And this is also, this Two of Cups energy is healing. This snake spiral here in the middle is the idea of, like our medical cross or the medical thing. So there's very much idea of like, this is healing. Like what we offer each other is healing, so really understand the intention behind what it is that you're doing and why. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.